Thank you, Mutsumi. And Comrade TK, the Provincial Secretary of the ANC in Gauteng, ladies and gentlemen of the media, thank you to have this brief interaction with you to explain the purpose of our visit to Gauteng province. You will know that a week ago we're in KwaZulu-Natal, and this weekend we're in Gauteng. And the purpose of our visit is to interact and engage with our structures in the three main provinces where the ANC has not performed well. It does not mean that we don't know what happened. We have done our own analysis as the National Executive Committee about the ANC performance. But over and above that, we have addressed the question of what needs to be done post the elections. You know that we did not perform very well, and we lost our majority in the two provinces, in the three provinces, Gauteng, Northern Cape, and KwaZulu-Natal. So we dropped from 78% to 50% in Mpumalanga. So this coming weekend will also be in Mpumalanga. So we are here in Gauteng to address the main question with our structures, which we met yesterday in all the 6 regions of Gauteng, to address first their own understanding of what happened and what needs to be done, and then also the real state of organization and how we consolidate the organization post this election in terms of what needs to be done, what are important areas of intervention that we need to make. We also reflected on the state of governance in the different metros, and we received feedback and report from the different regions in the province. Now the NWC will consolidate and receive the reports from the meetings with the structures. And then, like KZN, the NWC will chart the way forward in terms of what needs to be done to consolidate and fight here in this province to ensure that the ANC does come back and retain its majority, especially in the coming local government elections. So these are important engagements with our structures to ensure that we are able to chart the way forward and intervene, work with our structures, not from the high level without a proper understanding on the ground what is happening. So this interaction is assisting us to understand the state of affairs in the province and to chart the way forward collectively with our structures in the province of Gauteng. Thank you very much.
Colleagues, will take a few questions. Any hand? We'll start this side. News 24 and then SABC.
News 24. Mr. Mbalula, mine is about something else. I hope you can explain it. It's around Justice Minister Simelane, the calls for her to step aside, coming from Parliament, and people, opposition members, calling for investigation into the matter. Can you respond? What does the ANC stand on it? Thank you.
Samkele Masego from the SAPC. What was the overall sentiment, Mr. Mbalula, on your visit of all of the regions in Gauteng, the state of your organization, state of governance in some of these particular areas? Then lastly, what is the recommendation on the province of KwaZulu-Natal that you discussed in the NWC on Saturday at Luchili House, disbandment or not, or reconfiguration of the Provincial Executive Committee? Thank you.
The issue of Minister Thembisi Melani is ongoing. She has been asked by the President to explain herself. From our own situation, that work is continuing, and that report has been submitted to the president. So in as far as how she is affected by the debacle in relation to her responsibilities as a minister, playing an executive role in terms of the cabinet of the country, that is the prerogative of the president to deal with that. Whether or not this minister is fit, given the report that is got on the table, to continue. From the point of the ANC, we have received the report from the minister, and then the minister will be subjected to the ANC Integrity Commission. She will present herself to the Integrity Commission. The Integrity Commission, upon receiving a full account on what actually happened, will recommend to the National Executive Committee what must happen to the comrade. And that's where we are. We've got checks and balances in the party and in the main, the Integrity Commission, to deal with the matter of Comrade Tembing Kadimeng about VBS based on a full account, and on the basis of that, evaluate what steps needs to be taken. Or at best, there is nothing we can do. The comrade is innocent. So we don't want to prejudice any individual in this regard. We follow the processes of the organization that we have set in motion. So what an individual does in the public domain to clear herself in terms of engagement, that is her own call. And she's doing it on her own behalf. It is not the ANC mandate. But in relation to government side, the president's prerogative has kicked in. The president will make a determination about that based on the reports that she received from the minister. And then on our part, Integrity Commission, that's the route the comrade will follow, over and above the report that she has given to us. In relation to Gauteng, we will now get the reports and make a determination about what must happen. What will happen is that the NWC will get the report and will deliberate on the report. We'll get the reports from all the 6 regions. What are the structures saying? But I can tell you right now that where I was, in the main, the issues that comrades reflect on, first is governance. That in the main, the question of electricity, power cuts, the question of electricity infrastructure vandalized, that has affected some of the communities for 5 years. To a certain extent, water crisis in certain areas has also been an issue. The question of buildings that are abandoned, which have actually become a manifest of crime and all of that, illegal immigrants and all of that, petty crime people are there in those buildings, especially in the area of Johannesburg. So these are the issues that comrades believe have actually affected the ANC performance. Intra-party organizational challenges, ANC squabbles, factionalism is a big problem, where in which we did not pull through as a unit, as a force, in terms of the targets we have set for ourselves. We would have set ourselves a target of implementing all our goals up to the level of 30%. In certain areas, certain people did not come to the party. Of course, there are important highlights and achievements. There are important highlights in terms of performance of some of our councillors, which we believe must be emulated as an example. For instance, in Johannesburg, Ward 133, there is a councillor there called Marumo. He's an exceptional example of how a public representative must conduct themselves. So examples are right within us. We don't have to look on the opposite side. We just need to emulate those examples on the ground, and then also put some barometer in terms of holding our public representative and councillors accountable. They are good examples. There is a zone here in Johannesburg. We were contesting in 93 wards. We won 90. We lost 3. Exceptional example, and with high volumes of turnout. Of course, our structures did complain about IEC. that IEC, to a certain extent, the elections were free and fair, we admit, but there are things that they were unhappy about, that they raised with us, that we believe that in the multi-party arrangement of the IEC, in strengthening the work of the IEC, these things must be taken into consideration because we believe they do affect voter morale in terms of people who are eager and willing to participate in the democratic process in our country. So those are some of the highlights, which I think, and of course the Zuma party that has come in full force and won some of the wards, especially in the areas where there are hostels, in the Johannesburg area. That is some of the things that the comrades have raised, that there are people in the ANC who have left and have gone to the Zuma party, and then some of them were working for the Zuma party whilst they were within the ANC. So you can characterize that, quote unquote, the sleepers of the MK party in the African National Congress. I don't know with other regions what will be the situation that actually obtains. But generally, these are some of the things that comrades have actually raised, and will reflect once we got the report about the way forward. KZN, we have discussed on Saturday. We have not come to any conclusion about the way forward, about what needs to happen. We will be back in KZN before the end of the month. By end of the month, we'll have a National Executive Committee special meeting. These interactions will be tabled in the National Executive Committee special meeting, because we are not here for fun in Gauteng. We have been here. We know the state of organization. The bus is written, we are going to Tefontein. You are asking, where are you going? We know where we are going. The question is, we need to ascertain without blame game. And then disbandment is not the only solution in terms of what needs to happen. You use words like reconfiguration and all of that, but the reality of the matter is that you take decision based on what has been reported and also your own conclusion about what is really happening on the ground and what needs to happen. So on the basis of that, you can as well arrive at the decision, no, we need to change leadership and all of that, or comrades are not working or whatever that it is and so on. But that is not the main issue. That is not the first and the only solution on the table. There are many things that you need to do. Strengthening of structures and branches. We went into this election with weaker structures. And then over and above, we're affected by this descent of the Zuma party and all of that, which have imploded right within from the ANC. So that has aided in terms of numbers, this party to gaining more numbers and more numbers in society out there. So these are the things that a leadership does. And the leadership will examine, make a determination. By the time we get to the NEC and we report on our engagement in these provinces, we will have made a determination about what needs to happen, working with them, not alone, with the provinces. Yes, as much as we will get reports here, TK will also report on behalf of the province as a provincial secretary and the PC. So we'll engage with the province about the way forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mansi.